Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. So I'm Danielle from Cage's Readings. So today's pick a card, we are looking at how do your guides see you? And we're just going to be asking, what does your soul look like to them? What are your gifts? And what good is coming your way? So you have 3 piles to choose from. We have the first one, which is this Amethyst point. And the deck underneath it is modern day ruins. Or sorry, it's ruins for modern day life. I said it perfectly backward. This is the cards. Pile 2 is the Amethyst cluster. And the cards for it is Karma cards. Pile 3 is this cluster or points of Smokey Quartz. And the deck for it is the Empath's Empowerment deck. Okay, so please, as always, just remember to ground yourselves, take a few deep breaths, really get into your body, reconnect with your intuition, breathe out any stress or fear that you might have built up in your body, and just really come back to your heart center and then choose your piles. Asking yourself if there's a message for you here, or how do your guides see you? All right, I'll see you all in your card readings. Hello, pile 1. So you all chose the Ruins deck and this crystal point here. Just put it, I'll just put it right over here. Okay, I'm just gonna pull some cards. I might pull some from another deck. We'll just see how I'm feeling. So I'll just do that quickly now. Okay, so let's see here. One of the first things I just noticed is that you got 2 kind of wintry cards here. I don't know why that seems to mean something to me for this pile, but I guess we will see. Okay. Ooh, love the colors in these cards here. Actually, you have a lot of like colors going on. Okay, and let's put this one up here. Okay, pile 1. So the very first thing that I'm sure you're noticing as well is just, as I was kind of saying, like there's so much color. Like there's lots of red, lots of grounding, there's lots of heart healing and bringing more joy into other people's lives. There's some yellow for developing the confidence in yourself and learning to accept yourself as you are. There is blue for seeing things clearly and communication as well. And to be honest, the only color I don't see a lot of is purple. But everything, there's so much. And in this kind of a reading, the intention isn't to see the blocks, it's actually to see um, all the beauty that your guides see within you. And they really do just see you as someone who really um, holds space for their whole self to be, to explore every aspect of them. And this is something that guides find very high, like they hold in high esteem is the words I want to use. Like it's like they're just saying that you really are a beautiful, colorful, radiant soul, and that you are here on a mission that isn't easy. Like you have gone and you have really come here to go deep within the inner self. Um, and that's everything to them, right? Like not going outside of ourselves, not finding distractions. Like even when as soon as I saw this card, like it just so beautifully portrays like this kind of energy that you have. So this card is all about protection, but I see it as you aren't afraid to like look past the fear, if that makes sense. Like how can I explain this more clear? What people respect about you, what your guides really respect about you is that if you feel uncomfortable around a situation, if you have fear, that doesn't stop you. You go a little bit deeper. Like it shows like this person flashing a light and then realizing, like what was in the dark isn't as scary as they thought it was gonna be. Like that's how I see you. Like there's any fears or doubts, or if there's fears and doubts that are being put on you, whether they're yours or coming from outside of you, you clearly understand yourself well enough to take a second and go within and look at it. My camera battery already died. So, what I wanted to point out here is there's so much color going on. There's greens, there's reds, lots of grounded, rooted in yourself, able to see things clearly, able to communicate beautiful, loving words with the outside world. What else do I see here? There's so much about how you see things in such a beautiful way that your guides are really talking about here. The way you're able to see the world, you can see it for its beauty. You can see it for the abundance it has to offer you, to offer all of us here. You have this beautiful way of seeing others and seeing what could be perceived as bad is the word I want to use. And then there's so much here of just really talking about your great, great gift. One of the greatest gifts that your guides believe that you have is your ability to go within and not be afraid of what you see there and what you come across. So the cards that really are speaking out to me right away is this one here. So this card means protection. But how I see it is that you don't really even need protection. You are so capable of understanding yourself on a level where if you are starting to feel overwhelmed or fearful or doubting yourself, but the main emotion they're saying is fear, instead of like hiding from it, instead you go, okay, it's time to take a look at that. And then you do, and you aren't so afraid of it. It's like that is your actual secret weapon. Is so many people in this day and age, in this era, are too scared to point the spotlight on the fears. So they're saying what makes you so gifted and so unbelievably you is that ability that you have, that ability to look at what others choose to hide from. It's so powerful. And I'm hoping that you understand this as I speak about this pile one, because it seems like something that you could possibly take for granted. But that is actually what we need here on earth, is so many more people to look at themselves, at what they perceive as bad, what they perceive to be shameful, and fully accept and acknowledge it, and just be okay with feeling all of them, all of their emotions, and knowing that the concept of bad and good is a human concept. It is created from like traditions from centuries and centuries ago, and that we've been wired now to always see things in a light of comparison. But I think for this pile, you are just so wise at your core as a soul to know that denying or suppressing aspects of you is not going to serve you or the world around you. So this is just such a huge part of your soul, who you are. I know I keep saying soul, but they're saying like it's so deep. It really is a soul thing for you. It's not just your personality, it is your soul who is this way. So let's see, what else do they just love about you? What do your guides see and want you to know you do so well and what you do so great? I think the other thing that's coming up is you're not someone who is wasting their time. And I want to be careful on how I word that, because I see that they're saying that some people on earth right now can get in this tendency to get into almost like a zombie mode, right? Where they wake up, they do the same thing every day, they have similar interactions. They don't necessarily go very deep. They're not emotionally connecting with the people they come across. They're giving those automated responses, those sort of robotic responses. And this is not you. You are someone who goes into the world. You wake up during the day and you are present. There's so much here about saying how you've done so much work and you've done so good so that you can be grounded in the present. And I don't think you think much about the past, which is actually very beautiful. You think often about the beautiful possibilities of the future. They keep saying abundance that the world can offer you. So you think a lot about the present now, being connected. That's definitely something where when you interact, you have heart connections with others, versus the more mainstream way of doing it is sort of being blocked or guarded or not present and in those interactions. Like I would think for this pile, if someone asks you, how are you doing today? You give an honest response. You've reflected and then you give an honest response. Like, I'm doing so lovely today, and you mean it. Or today's been just the greatest, the best yet. And I don't think you're just giving like robotic, automated responses. I mean, sometimes you might, and that's just human, but they're just saying like overall, you have just been able to stay so present that it really is like such a gift, not just for you, for yourself to experience, but for others. And then what you do well, I definitely was immediately attracted to this making new friends cards. And what I like about this card here is what I really see is like you help transform how other people see the world. Like your kindness, your rootedness in the presence, your ability to just be joyful and excited and inspired by life and by others, actually changes the people that are close to you, the people that get to know you. They are often inspired by you to step into a more present life or way of life, or they change their outlooks. Like, you know what they're showing me as an example? If someone lives in excessive judgment, and that's just how they were raised, it's the attitudes of the people around them. I see that you come into their life and they start seeing that judgment and comparison isn't necessary. Everyone can be abundant, everyone can be loving. You can extend that heart energy to everyone. It doesn't just have to be to a friend or to a loved one. Everyone can have that heart energy. And that's, I hope that makes sense. They just see that you do like lighten the loads of the people around you, and you're doing this in a pretty good way. I'm not getting any messages at this current moment in time that you take on other people's burdens or that you try to fix people. I get that this is just something that your essence inspires in your friends and those who get to know you. So that is another thing that you do so well, and you're very gifted with. And all of that, once again, stems from this ability of you accepting yourself just as you are. Like, like it's so funny. All three of these cards here, these rune cards, talk about inner journey and acceptance of self and exploring and knowing who you really are. And it's just amazing that you've got that going so strongly. And then that is where all your gifts are coming from for the outside world. So you're very inside world based. You're not looking outside of yourself for the right things. You look inwards for the right answers. And the thing that I love here is they talk a lot about how you will always continue to grow and change. So who you identify as now will be someone different in the future. But that's just part of the beauty, is that when you're constantly reflecting on the inner you, on your inner desires, on what's going on in there, that you will keep growing and shifting and changing naturally. So they talk a lot about that. Like, I think I'd ask a question here about um, a message for the future abundance or good that would come in. And I feel like I see a lot of that like you are just going to keep growing and changing. And it's not something to be fearful of or worried about, because it's just going to become a more wise and heart-centered version of yourself. You already are all this, but this will be just on another level, right? Like the human can always grow. And I just see that's where you're going, changing identity, changing into a more mature version of yourself. Let's see, what else is going on here? Follow your dreams. So that's another card that you do well. Yeah, I think that even kind of is discussed here with this. Like in this card, like I really do see it as the image beautifully portrays it. Like you have this desire to explore, be present, just be a human and have all the experiences that you can, and not waste, like I was saying, that time. Like you just know that life can be joyful and valuable. And some of us aren't taking advantage of it because we're always like waiting for, I don't know, like what are we waiting for? I have no idea. Like for life to get easier, we say, or for like, I don't know. No one can ever tell me that when people are stuck in like that zombie mode or in that routine. I don't know what they're waiting for. You almost get the impression they're waiting to die, but then they're so fearful of dying, so it can't be that. So I just always wonder, but that's not you. You're here to like explore everything. And you know what I even get is that what are they saying here? They're actually talking about your actual dream time. Sorry. Okay, so this is a little bit of a different message. So this also could be specific for just someone. But I was asking about this follow your dream card, and they're saying um, literally follow your dreams, because in your dream time, I think you spend a lot of time with. I see fairies, I see kind of elf energy and elemental energy, and I see like you almost playing with them. But it sounds funny to say that, right? As adults, but I almost see it as in your dream time, you have this very youthful energy, and you like actually playing with them and laughing and being joyous and doing things that are only possible in that fairy realm that aren't so possible here. And it's interesting, you almost have like a double life going on in your dreams with these they're showing me, yeah, like earthly spirits is maybe a better word. Fairies, elves, elementals, might be some unicorns there. Definitely earth elements, but they're all very like lighthearted, fun. They would remind you of children energy here, like unserious children energy, I should say. Very lighthearted, but also have a lot of wisdom. And they have so much wisdom to know that the true beauty of life is to laugh and to play and to have joy and to experience. And I just feel like, yeah, it's really interesting. They show me that like you basically when you sleep you're like having like this great blast and fun with like your fairy family and friends. And then when you wake up, I feel like they're literally saying is to just continue that like fun explorative silly energy, like dancing when you feel like it. They show me like what is that called, where you like roll down a hill of grass, and you do it as a kid because it's fun, but as an adult we just don't do stuff like that. They like show me stuff like that, like it's to us adults it's seems pointless, but to like a child, it's just because it brings them joy. And joy is the whole point. So they're saying things like that, like to continue um to literally follow your dreams because your dreams are so joyous and light and happy. And you're very much with like this fairy family. And yeah, I feel like you must have a lot of fairy guides if you chose this file, or a lot of earth um guides with you, or I don't even know if I want to say guides or more so friends, because they feel more like friends. Like they're not necessarily giving you advice as much as like say some of the angels come through and do, but angels do have a habit of having more of a parent sort of energy, where these fairies have like this very like we're friends kind of energy. Great teachings of just being joyous and in a high state because of that. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna leave that message there. It's kind of an interesting little sidetrack. Okay, so let's read these cards here. So it says, not having enough money is never the problem, it seems. First, lack is always temporary. Second, change is only ever a few thoughts away. And third, it's not like you haven't performed miracles before. Honey, honey, the universe. I actually really like this card. So the close up image here is of the aurora, or the northern lights. Sorry, I think more people know that northern lights. And it's so interesting because as soon as I read this and it says it's not like you haven't performed miracles before, I think that's just really just talking about you again as like this is your gifting. Like you do things. How do I put it? Like, I think you do heal people. I think you heal people and you don't know you're healing people. I think your energy, your liveliness, your joy, you as a person literally heals people. I don't even think that it's necessary that you're doing energy healing. I think that, or sorry, it doesn't have to be energy healing, but like a physical healing or practice. I think literally you, as who you are, heals people. You heal traumas, you heal beliefs that they thought um, were true for everyone, and then you defy them. Like, say, if someone has decided that no one is reliable, I think you're very reliable, and that heals people's trust wounds. I think People see you almost as like, they say, God sent, angelic, a healer, someone like almost like ascended master kind of perception. Like, it's interesting. People see you as being higher than they are. And I don't mean that that is true, but that is the perception other people have of you, is that you almost like walk on water and they don't understand if you're human. Because you love easy, you trust, your heart is open, and that's just such a big wounding for a lot of people here. So it just your energy alone, I think it really does a number on the people you come in contact with. So if you're someone where you're like, sometimes you have a hard time feeling like you make friendships that people don't idolize you. I think that would be a hard thing for this pile, is that people want to be your friend, but they almost put you in this like, they're lower than you, sort of energy. It's really interesting, trying to explain that, because they're not envious of you, they're not jealous of you, they just think you're not human. Like, you really are of a higher level or a higher ascension, that they almost, it's not quite worship, but it's like, it's kind of, what is that? What is that word? I don't know if I know the word for this kind of energy. Yeah, they almost, it's not quite like they see you as a deity, but honestly, the Jesus analogy kind of works well. Like, they almost see you as someone who is an ascended master on earth of this time, teaching them. And I think for you, as the pile who's watching this, that you're like, what? I'm not. I'm just like a regular person. I have problems. I want to experience joy. I want good friends. I don't understand that. But I think it's important for you to understand that this is how people perceive you, because you are, um, capable of doing that inner journey with yourself. You're capable of like going within and accepting yourself. And that is not a common thing here. So it changes your energy, right? Like, your energy is great. It's amazing. It's rare to come across right now on earth. But I think that is energy is getting better. So don't worry, you won't be the only one for too long. People, as of recently, are really, really stepping up and are really trying to start on the path that you're on. That's why it's so great. And you are such a blessing for people, because you're kind of like that pioneer. I think that's really what I see from your guides, is you're that pioneer coming in to help guide those, now that the energy's shifted on this planet, to help them catch up. And you are leading by example. People feel it within you. They feel that, like, I can't put my finger on it, but like your energy, where they don't know how to explain it. So they do see you as like this higher being or something like that, but still very much a human. Yeah, they almost show me like they see you as Jesus. They keep showing me that image again and again. Like, you're here to teach, lessons to them, so that they can understand how to obtain that level that you have of self-acceptance. Really, that's really the main thing that your guides are saying. That thing that you don't think maybe, should make that much of a difference, has changed your entire energy and your joy and your ability to love life and experience it. That's really the root cause, is that your ability to accept self, the low and the high, the lower mind and the higher mind. You don't get stuck in the past and regrets. I don't see anything about past energy here. So I just really see that, like, that also is what makes your energy so, um, attractive to these other people who don't quite understand, because they're constantly thinking about what they have done even a second ago, and if it was the right thing to have done or said. Okay. Let's go over here. Ever notice how when someone dreams a happiness, abundance, health, romance, or friendship, they never have to wonder if it's in their best interest? But when someone dreams of a specific house, employer, love interest, deadline, dollar amount, or diet fad, they often end up contradicting themselves. Keep your end results general. Everything else is just a how. The big picture, to the big picture, the universe. So this card's really interesting. trying to see how it applies here. This one almost felt a little bit like advicey for you, but trying to tune into it a little bit more. Okay, so there is a little thing here. How do I explain this? Okay, so the root, so it's talking about how a fear is coming up into the universe, like you're communicating it to well, when it says the universe, I think to other people. This is a very small thing in the long run, but I think it's just coming up. If some of you for this pile have felt a little blocked on getting a request met, that's what I want to call that. I don't know what the request is. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is actually related to wanting something to come in. It feels like it has something to do with family or home, whether it's like needing a new thing in your house so that you can do a certain type of work, or it is um, wanting something to happen for a family member. I'm not too sure. But, anyways, I won't get too stuck on that. But there's something here where it's saying if you've been feeling a little blocked in that and you've been asking and asking, this is also very specific. Let me just add that in. Maybe this is just for one person. We've been asking and asking. They're saying that sometimes when you're talking about it, you've said something that's emitting or transferring fear out. So maybe when you're talking to a friend about it, you say something, they're talking about disempowerment. So it's like the fear that it might not come in, and you're disempowering yourself when you verbalize it that way. Like life is just happening to you. You're not saying that. I really want to correct that. I'm just trying to think. I'm like, sometimes the more I talk, then the word that you said will come through, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get it here. Yeah, but I just see that as the interaction, like you might be saying to a friend, like, oh, I'm a little worried about this. And I think it's obviously we all get a few free passes, right? We're not just gonna, if we say something once, we're not just gonna never get it. But they're saying that you might have said it a few times, and the thing that you said had a lot of fear that it might not come in or it might not work out. And they're saying there's a block there. That's where the block is when you're talking about it. The fear is, it's coming from a place of fear and it's coming out. When you're speaking about it. So I don't know, maybe that helps you out if if you're trying to manifest something in and you've been having an issue with it, and you're not sure why. There's just a little way that they're saying it's happening. Okay, moving on. So the other thing they say you do well, I see this sexuality, but you know what's interesting is whenever I see sexuality now, I just see it as like the sex energy of creation. Like, so whether that is manifesting things in, creating your reality, taking charge of your life, empowering yourself, and how else do I explain it? Like, it's just like, really, sensuality is such a great word to describe that creation energy, because the emotions we're feeling, the emotions we're embodying, does create our reality. So I just see this as like, they're saying you're great at that. You're, which might be why you're wondering why this one thing you've been trying to bring in hasn't come in. They're just saying there's a little bit of fear there, that it's coming out instead of like that higher vibration that normally does when you discuss things or when you're usually trying to bring things in. But they do say like this is something you're quite gifted at. You understand it. How I really see it is that you've managed to work with your solar plexus. So they're saying you've managed to work with like your confidence, your self belief, your self worthiness kind of energy, and knowing that you are deserving of it. You are in control. You don't need to worship something, or you don't need to give your power away to something else. You can create it within yourself. So they're saying, like, you understand that, you have a great grasp on that concept, and you do this very well. Yeah, but it's funny, they do mention that you've worked on the solar plexus, because that is actually, and you probably already have realized this, why a lot of us are blocked on our manifestations, is that we don't always work with our fears and our doubts and our self-value beliefs, and then that will get in the way of what we're trying to manifest in, because we'll say, I want this, I deserve this, I ask for this, but then at the same time we're thinking we're being very selfish to ask for it, we don't deserve it, who are we to think we can ask for that, like whatever it is that gets in people's heads. I think you've learned to work with that and clear that energy before requesting what you want. So that's also a thing you do extremely well. Okay, I'm just going to try to see what else they want to talk about here. There's something else with this card. I can't stop looking at the person in it. And I mean, it obviously is a mirror, and I wonder if the message there is just on mirroring and understanding that anyone we interact with is a mirror of us in some way. So if that mirror is beautiful, then we are also that. If that mirror can be judgmental, then it knows that there's also some of that within us. We are interconnected. We are all one. What we can see in one another, we have within ourselves. Yeah, so I do think though, like just the overall message from this one coming through is that thing, like you're ending something old, you're stepping into this newer you, and that you might just need to be patient right now. If you're having frustrations with something, all these cards we're talking about ego and the emotions and fear and going within. So I do see some things transforming, some things ending a cycle and coming into something new. So maybe that's just all you needed to hear. Okay, I think that's all I have for this pile. Best of luck on your journeys here. Your guides just see you as this amazing, amazing being. And like I said, other people even see that you're just absolutely amazing. So you have a great day or evening, whatever it is for you, and just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great. Hello, pile two. You all chose the Amethyst cluster. Just put it here for you. And I'm just going to pull some cards, and I might grab some other decks for you as well. So we're just asking, how do your guides see you? What do they think? What are your gifts? And if there is any messages, because there wasn't really any for the future for the last file, about what's coming in the future. Okay, pile two. So first thing's popping out to me, a lot of fire energy from your soul. And I don't think fire can always get the reputation it deserves. So it is interesting. There's like one little thing here about water, but I see fire, fire, fire. And I think this really goes to show that you on a soul level, how you're perceived at your essence, at your soul level. I really have to make that clear, because maybe in this life. You were born in some month where you are like an earth sign or a water sign, or a wind sign, whatever it is. But I think on a soul level, your soul resonates with fire. And maybe that will clear some things up if you haven't really understood why you don't always completely fit in with the sign you were given. How they show your soul is you're someone who is very driven. You're someone who knows what you want to achieve, and you have like this never ending enthusiasm or passion to see it through. That's kind of what they're showing me, is that you can get very focused on something, but it comes from an energy of inspiration, of wanting to pursue that joy that it brings you to achieve it. It's not coming from a place of, what's the word? They keep saying like obsession. It doesn't come from there. It doesn't come from addiction. It doesn't come from a lower place. It comes from like your soul seeing a possibility to bring in something higher or better, and you wanting to see it achieved. So that's how I see your energies. Very fiery, very driven, very like leadership qualities, very um focused. Yeah, very focused on the larger goal or the larger vision. So, how do your guides see you? um, oh, I like that, freedom. That's the other thing. Sorry, I was just noticing this card here where it says freedom, your circle of friends, associations. For humanity's sake, your hope and your wishes, do it for the future. This 11th house card here, I also just feel like that's the perfect embodiment of like fire energy, like wanting freedom, your circle of friends, just, I don't know. I can't quite put it into words. I'm like, that is just so fiery. Like that love for freedom and for connection and for um, fun, fun and friends and being felt and seen. I don't know. Something about that. I'm just like, oh, that's so you. That is so you. That's how your guides really see you. Um, oh, and then also like get it out of the world. That also stands up for me. I don't know what this pile is fighting for, but you really are fighting for like a more beautiful life for everyone. That's how they see it. Your guides see you as like a warrior of light. There we go. That is the wording. A warrior for the light. And that you don't want it just for yourself. You want it for everyone involved, everyone you know, all your friends, the people you don't even know yet. Um, for the innocence of the world, for the people who don't see things clearly, you want to get rid of anything that is keeping, what's the word I want to use? Like an illusion or a lower energy cycle on this earth. You want that gone. So I don't know. This is really talking about your soul mission, um, less than like your day to day life kind of mission. I don't know what you do for work in this pile here, but what I do see, it's so funny because they're giving me all this like information about like, like the energy grid that is around Earth, and how like your soul on a soul level is really here to help get rid of that, make it not weigh so heavily on the planet, on us. So I'm gonna just have to go with and assume you know something about that. So how would I put it? From my understanding of what it is like, um how can I put this with the right words? So when I first saw this, energy grid around the earth, I thought it was a cage, which is actually a poor use of word choice for it, because a cage implies that we are trapped. So the better word for it, I should say, and the more accurate word for it is that it's like an energy grid around the earth that was placed there to keep us at a certain consciousness level until we were ready to step onto a higher consciousness level. So, yeah, and I think you're one of the light workers, or as they say, your soul says, the light warrior who has come here to help um, get rid of that energy grid, or diffuse that energy grid. Or if you were going to say, my analogy that I used to say is, you're going to open the door of that cage. And I think that's even like a good little rant to go on here, is like, so my perception when I first saw it is that I went into fear and I saw it as a cage, which then took away my power in the situation, made me a victim. And that feeds the very thing that I didn't want to see there. That energy grid, when I saw it as a cage and it established fear, I fed it the wrong way. Where I feel like for you, seeing it as an energy grid that was set, that can now be unset, you're not feeding it with fear. You're just looking at it with a higher consciousness, like this higher understanding, and knowing that it just is. It's not bad. It's not good. It had some benefits. It's neutral. There's pros and cons to it, but we don't need it anymore. And I think on a soul level, your soul's really here to help change the energy so that we can, like I said, diffuse that energy grid. So lots of fire in you, because you've got some big jobs you've stepped into on this planet. So that's really cool. And then I like that the water's in here though, because when I see this, this goes to show that you aren't forgetting the balance, is how I see this card. The balance of the yin and the yang, the emotional and the spiritual and the physical. Like, you understand to do this, you need to be seeing all of yourself, and not be fearful of it. Yeah, big understanding around fear and the power of our thoughts. And funny enough, look at that. Power of thoughts create positive results. You created this situation. You have the power to change it. Inner guidance, trust it, positivity, faith, and optimism. There's so much here about saying, like, understanding that we create our reality based on the power of our words and our thoughts. And I just mean, like, this is something that you understand on such a soul level. It's magical. So when your guides see you, they definitely say that this is such a deep mission for you, that this is definitely something they wanted to bring up, how they see this within you. This mission which is so important to you and so important to the world, as I was saying. Like, it's really just like, what's the word? You're just like gonna take action. There's an opening in the energy now, in the consciousness of the planet, for you to shift things. And so you are. And like I say, with the fire, it talks a lot about leadership. And I think in some way, somehow, what they're saying is you're going to help teach people how to change this. So this could be what's going on a very soul level. Like, your goal and everything you're teaching is going to help with disintegrating this energy grid that no longer serves us. And I like how it says the secret here, because it just keeps drawing me to the secret and then down. This is the secret you are going to share. So like we were saying, the positive thoughts create positive results. So teaching others the power of the emotion in their thoughts, the emotion and the energy. Sorry, that's like not a mature enough word. They're saying the vibration of the thoughts and the words they have. That's what they prefer me that I say. you're going to teach others because you have this deep understanding within yourself of the power of this. Like, look at this. This is the basic building blocks to shifting people's lives and what they manifest in and what they feed. So you are teaching people this. And I don't know if you're actually someone giving courses and classes to people. Maybe you're teaching Reiki and you mention this in every Reiki class. Maybe you teach an intuitive class. Sorry, they're giving me a little examples here. There's definitely teacher energy coming through. So I think you are either in future going to be a teacher, or you could currently be. The energy they're showing me is that you are. So sometimes that can be future energy because, they don't see time the same way. You are a teacher, whether you're actually teaching right now or not. Okay. So talking about those building blocks. So they're saying inner guidance is real and trustworthy. So you're teaching people that. It's so funny, yeah, because like I was saying, this is building block stuff. You're really going to be teaching, if you're not already teaching, like beginners, like people who are fearful. Those are definitely going to be the people you're attracting in, who have a lot of fear, who feel I don't want to say quite victims of their life, but they could feel like they're stuck in a victim role in specific areas of their life. So maybe they feel like darkness finds them all the time, or maybe they feel like they have bad karma. They might feel like they attract in controlling people. They might feel like they have the worst luck in the world. Ooh, they just said that. That's a big one for some people. You always hear people say they have the worst luck in the world, which, like, as you know, on a higher level, is really just creating openings and opportunities for that to happen to them. And they don't always trust themselves or trust the guidance they get. They're a little impatient. If it doesn't come right away, then they don't believe it's coming. That is the people you currently attract in or are going to attract in. And they can seem like a tough crowd, but these are the people who need to know there's another way, who need to have that shift to help shift the overall consciousness, because humans have been wired to have these beliefs one way or another, whether it's societal or parental, cultural, whatever it is. So the more people who change this, who start to learn that they can trust their inner guidance, who don't have to go outside of themselves for the answers, they can go within. And the other message here is to stop this mentality of worshiping deities as if we ourselves don't have the power to change our life. That is really interesting because they're saying you understand this on a soul level, that guides and angels and ascended masters are all here to assist us. We are all the same energy. We're all one. There's an equality there, but the human mind believes in comparison and there has to be hierarchy. And I think you're going to teach people that is a human perception or concept, and that it's not really a concept that exists in other realms, you could say, or mentalities. So that was a big one coming from this card here, is letting people start to see. That's so funny. They're gonna see slowly, and this could be a process that becomes that might take some time, but they see that they are powerful and that they can change and affect their own lives. And then just look at this card here, positive thoughts create positive results, and gratitude lists. Like, that's really like teaching them to start getting into positive routines, positive classes. Sorry, I don't know why I'm going such a tangent on what you're going to teach people. So I guess I'll just keep going with it. Maybe you were searching for some advice. Maybe you're feeling stuck because you want to create change, but you're feeling like, how do I help these people? Like, I feel like it can get overwhelming. Like, they're showing the energy over here is like, these people can have a lot of negativity. They can have a lot of limiting beliefs that are very strong because of not knowing better, or just, yeah, like a closed-mindedness, not seeing this other way. So if this is true for you, it's really coming back, like the guides are giving a little advice here, to teach the building blocks, the fundamentals. This is really what changes it, because over time things will shift. So there won't just be like for everyone a quick like, okay, I get it now, I'm empowered, I'm not a victim, I can change anything. This is how they do it: gratitude lists, positive thinking, changing the results, like they said, optimism, faith in themselves, and knowing that things are going to work out. You open the doorway to positive experiences and opportunities with your positive expectations and energy. Do not allow negative energy or temporary setbacks to interfere with the path that you are on. Keep the faith and keep going. That is the advice here. If you're struggling with teaching people and you're starting to go, how do I, like, what do I do? Just remember, you know how to do this. You are a great leader. You are shifting things. You are helping free people. That is a big thing. They're like, you were freeing people from, what's the word? The forces people have put themselves in, the powerlessness that they have accepted, and you're teaching them that they are not powerless. So, sorry, my cat's using the litter box. That's what those sounds are. Yeah, so I'm just trying to see what else I can ask. Vision. Okay, that's the other thing they're saying. You give people vision. So I'm so sorry. It's just such a dominant teacher energy here. So sorry if you're like, I'm not a teacher, I have no plans to be a teacher. Well, maybe you're teaching people through doing this yourself. Like, you can never fully understand how much you shift the vibrations of the people around you just by being a living example of what you believe and practicing as you preach. So this is, yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting from this card, where it's like you model, like they're saying you model to others what is possible, the realities, what can really happen for people. So say if people could even, they're even talking a little bit about like past life here, or like younger life is more the right word. So younger childhood, maybe you come from a background where people didn't have high expectations of you, and now you've like completely turned around. Maybe you had no money as a kid. Now you have money. Maybe you were seen as someone who's uneducated, but you are so smart and you just understand things on a level most people can't. There's just this concept here they're trying to explain, where they're saying you defy the odds, and that gets people thinking, wondering, questioning. And that in itself is doing what your soul is so eager to do, about changing that vibration that we have been in. Like, it just, the words they could use is like, you help lift the veil. There we go. That's another lingo that people might understand better. You help lift the veil. And when I think of the veil, I do think of like that energy grid, because I believe the veil is really the energy grid, sort of making sure the energy stays at a vibration that makes it easy for people to keep not seeing. But like I said, that is changing. Everything has changed since COVID. Energy on the planet is just incredible. I know everyone can feel it in some way, whether you're sure that it's that or you're just not sure what's going on. I really do feel that the earth has decided to help us speed up this process. Like, I just so wholeheartedly believe that she's helping work with us to shift it. So that's really amazing. And then I think there's tons of people like you, like this, with this soul mission of being here as a light warrior to free the world of this energy grid and of this lower energy and of this mentality of we are powerless. That is such a powerful, huge thing. I don't even know our potential after that. If we can actually release the comparison, the victimhood mentality, the we are lesser than or someone is better than mentality, like, I just feel like us as a human race, that will put us on a level that we don't even understand our possibilities, our opportunities. This world would physically look different. Maybe we would have, instead of needing to channel messages through a direct channeler, perhaps we would all just see like the angels with our physical eyes walking around, or other star beings walking around. Some people do see that now, but I think as a larger population, we would all see it. So it wouldn't be like, oh, you're crazy, or maybe those things exist. I think this planet would be at a dimension level in which higher frequencies or vibrating beings could be materialized on our planet, because the planet's energy would be vibrating higher. Because right now, the mass of the people are vibrating at the lower frequency, which, like I keep saying, does not mean good or bad. It just means that helps create the energy, or helps keep that planetary energy at that lower vibration. So if you've often heard like some angels can't, and I can't remember the names of them right now, but there's like different levels of beings, and some can't materialize very well on this realm for a human to see because the vibration difference is too great. So they would look like light to us, or they wouldn't exist because we couldn't see it. So, sorry, it's kind of a funny thing to think about in some ways. How you can be blind because the frequency difference is so different. So I don't know. Once again, I don't know why all this is coming up in this card reading, but there's some hope in the possibility of the future, because, yeah, how I see the planet is that we will really be able to see with our own physical eyes, and not needing to go within the third eye to see all the different vibrational beings that are around us. And that's a really cool future. So I think you're helping this planet get there. I think you are teaching the building blocks, whether you're doing it through physical courses and you know it, or if your future you's gonna do it. But they're so adamant. Like, if you are a teacher right now and you're stuck, remember the fundamentals. This is actually everything. We get tired of hearing them. We think everyone knows them, but beginners don't. They don't actually know the whole connection between this. So this is something that people need to know more about. Getting into that gratitude vibration, and to even explain to others why gratitude vibration is so powerful, and how fear and powerlessness can't exist at the same time when there is a gratitude frequency being vibrated. They're opposites. They can't vibrate together. So that is so important. And there's just 3 cards talking about that: positive thoughts, positivity, gratitude. It's incredible. So really, if there's a question or a message you've been needing, really take this in, because this is saying this is so important. So important for this pile, for everyone really, but they're like, there's something important you need to hear here, so please listen, in clearing and healing. So yeah, so important. Okay. I'm just kind of asking if there's any other messages here, but I think this is it. And sorry, this pile went a little like differently than I thought, and I kept getting caught in these different tangents, but maybe that's just the way to go, right? Sometimes card readings, they turn into less of a card reading and more of something else. So I'll trust that you needed this, and hopefully this helped you. You all just have a beautiful day or night, whatever it is for you when you see this. And wow, you're doing great things out there, hey? Hello, pile 3. Oh, my bad. Let's move that one. We have, sorry, that was from the last pile. Don't want to mix the energies. Okay, so we have your Smokey Quartz points here. I'm going to put it there. And I'm going to pull from a couple other decks. And we're going to see how your guides see you and the gifts that you offer the world, okay? So bear with me as I pull some cards for you. Okay, and apparently you need one from this deck, so that one. There we go. All right, let's see here. Lots of fairy decks. So I kind of just had a bunch of cards out, and I decided I would intuitively grab a couple of decks for each pile, and whichever one stood out to me. So you guys got a bunch of fairy energy. So practice, patience, opinions are the lowest form of knowledge. Let go of being a martyr. Okay. Just your intuition. Okay. And remember, this is with the intention that this is what your soul does well. And how your guide sees you. How your guides see you. There you go. Maybe I'll put it this way. Okay. You got a few more cards in the other piles. 3. So there's a few things that just come in right away for this pile. So how your guides see you, or they see your soul, they kind of talk about it as more of like a Buddhist soul, or I don't know if Hindu's the right word. I get more Buddhist, but I honestly don't know too much about Hinduism. But they're saying, like, through many lifetimes, you've really come to learn some things that now are very at your core. It's very much, like I said, it's not just this lifetime. It's not just this incarnation. It's not just your life in this lifetime that got you there. They're saying this is qualities that you have learned through many lifetimes and have now just become part of you. Like, moving forward in your incarnations, you will always bring these qualities with you. And those qualities are like this self-realization, understanding. I get like a non-judgmental viewpoint. So these cards here, I feel like they're really talking about learned lessons through many a lifetime. So let go of being a martyr. I like, as soon as I read that, I'm like, they talk about having been persecuted in past lives, and having been surrounded by, sorry, they're showing a bunch of things. So there's some things where I almost see that you might have been a Buddhist and you were persecuted for your beliefs, but you didn't compromise. Like I know some monks, for example, Buddhist monks, grabbed guns and fought and shot people when they were trying to protect their land or their beliefs. And I get that you were like someone who never compromised. You stayed true to what you believed and who you were. That's just like in one lifetime. But there's so many where they're saying where you were persecuted, but you never stopped being a symbol for your beliefs, those beliefs of peace. So maybe this is just for one person as well. It's very specific because the next eclipse isn't until April 8th of 2024. So if you're watching this reading and it's near then, do some sort of ceremony or ritual on that eclipse day. It's coming up for a reason. If it could be around something you're trying to manifest in, or definitely something you're trying to manifest in. That eclipse is a great day for you to be doing a ritual. So April 8th, 2024. Yeah, that's very specific for someone. That is quite a far away from now as this video is currently being released. But for somebody, do it if you've been blocked on your manifestations. That is gonna help push through. The energy is gonna be really, really supportive of whatever you're trying to bring in. Okay. Anyways, back to the current reading. Trying to see what else is going on here. Yeah, there's so much past life energy in this in this one. So I know it's supposed to be talking about how your guides see you, but they sure see you with a lot of like as more of a whole. Like they don't just see you as who you are in this lifetime. For this pile, your guides really see you for all the lifetimes you've had. So that's really interesting. I don't know if I've seen that come out in a card reading before, but I wonder if you're just have been on a very long mission for this pile. Like there's a bunch of experiences you wanted to gain so that you could essentially teach a concept. I don't know if it's going to be this lifetime or maybe it's even a lifetime that hasn't happened yet. There's something, there's like a lot of lessons, a lot of knowledge that you really wanted to embody so that you could see your purpose through. Like, it's not even just like a soul purpose. Ooh, how do I put this? Like it is a soul purpose, but it's like a long-term soul purpose. Like a lot of us, we just talk about soul purpose in this lifetime, but they're really talking about your soul as on a grand scheme. You've been working on a soul purpose. And like they keep saying to me, like you've had many lifetimes, the Buddhist lifetimes, the Hinduism lifetimes, lifetimes in Egypt, lifetimes in Rome, in the Athens, lifetimes I see in like Peru, other planets for sure, where you've gone in and you've learned and you've had some tough lives just so that you could gain the knowledge so that you could radiate the learned lessons into this earth. It's really interesting, but I get the impression that although you will be doing that on some level in this lifetime, they're saying like this life lesson or this soul purpose will continue for lifetimes to come. Like it's almost like you took on a purpose or a soul purpose that's going to take like, I'm going to try to say the word like a millennia to fully see it through. And I don't know why that's coming up for this pile. So maybe you've had a lot of I'm speaking funny now. Maybe you've had a lot of past life readings where they say you've learned similar lessons again and again, and you're like, "Why am I always learning this lesson?" There's something there, like going on there, where you chose to learn something so deeply and so profoundly, so that the lifetime when you've fully embodied like a millennium of lifetimes, you can just basically emanate that understanding to, I think it's humans, to human people. And I'm just sorry, I'm trying to kind of grasp this, but this is like something, how do I put it? I don't think a lot of souls choose this long term of lessons. There we go. I don't think this is as common of a path that your soul has chosen. So I think that's why when your guides see you, they see you for this like all these incarnations, because that's like this is just a lifetime in this greater puzzle piece that in this greater like puzzle that you are experiencing so that you can um embody it. I'm like, I keep asking, well, what's the purpose of this for this file? Why are they doing this? And they're telling me it's like in the future, and I mean, I don't know the date of this. It's basically like because you're gonna have such a deep embodiment of this lesson, of this soul lesson, that say in the future, when someone is in your auric field, they will just be cured essentially of any like disease or any sort of dysfunction that issue was causing in them by being in your auric field. It's almost like by you being a mirror to them of someone who can embody it and accept it and fully understand it, that will cure people. So it's interesting. They're like, it's very important work, but it's like they keep saying a millennia. It can take a millennia to embody this level of energy and understanding, because you have to experience it in like every way and like so many different things. But you are doing this. You've agreed on a soul level to do this because you want to be able to offer that to the future. So it's really cool. I'm hoping I'm explaining it right. It's kind of like one of those things where I ask them, can you clarify? They're like, it is a concept that is like hard to explain. to the human understanding, because it like touches on things that we don't really understand yet. But they're saying like the future. This pile is living a life to help future and deeper in the understandings. But I have to just say though, like I think you are towards the end of the incarnations for this. Like they're saying like you've really been through a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's just like a handful more, and then you're doing this for people. Because I almost feel like they're saying um, the timeline depends on the energy of the people on this earth and where we're at as a planet, and if you can have this energy be supported on earth, if like earth is ready for that. So part of this incarnation cycle is also that it's going to keep going until like I said, the other people can like are ready for this kind of energy healing, where it's just someone can mirror to them and cure their diseases, cure their sicknesses, is almost what they're saying. Because it's like they're going on that whole like this is going to turn into complex thing. So they're saying like how a lot of our emotions create disharmony, disease within us. They're saying that this is a common thing. I think it has to do with the heart, by the way, because when I was looking at this, so like it's like something about the heart wounding, or the whatever kind of guardedness in the heart can create a lot of disease in us humans. And I think that that is what you're addressing. You'll be able to heal any sort of emotional blocks or disease or disharmony or whatever it is, or centered around the heart health because of our emotional health from people. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you'll understand what I'm saying, because I'm having a hard time understanding the concept myself. But anyways, you're on like a mission to basically heal the world through your presence. There you go. From your understanding of the embodiment of what you've learned over multiple lifetimes, to admit and change the energy or the illness in other people's energy fields by just mirroring the healthy way to them. It's really interesting. It's like, it's not super complex, but it's almost like one of those things where human brains can't understand something that could be this simple. So then we have to make it more complicated. But basically, it just takes a while to get there to be able to fully embody and emanate that energy. And you are, like I said, on a secondary level, waiting for the earth to be ready for this. So I have the impressions that this pile will keep reincarnating on earth specifically. And then the day that people are ready, you're just going to activate, and then you're going to be able to like emit this healing energy. Through, like I keep saying, mirroring your deep understanding and of it will cure it in people. It's super cool. So yeah, I think that's actually it. I don't really want to leave it on like a really weird, confusing thing. But that I think that was all I had for this file. So hopefully that either makes sense or it doesn't, and just let it go. I don't want your brains to hurt from trying to understand me like trying to explain that. So you all have a great day or evening, whatever it is, and I'll catch you around. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Reiki portion of the card reading. So today my cat Charlie, I guess, is gonna hang out. I'm thinking for this one, I actually might just draw a card from a sacred geometry deck, and then I thought I would do sort of a collective channeling of that symbol for everyone. So I'm just gonna go grab that card deck and then pull a card, and then whatever comes up is gonna be the theme for this Reiki session. Okay, here we go. Okay, we have magic. And it says the frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move towards possibilities and expressions. What are so grand and profound as we can imagine, all that is required is our belief in their manifestation. Okay, so it wasn't what I was expecting, but I think that's probably why I was feeling like I should pick a card for it. So we are essentially going to use Reiki energy and this imagery, you could say, and this essence to be channeled in for the collective today. So it sounds like it's going to help with manifestation and belief in self. And I even get a little bit of intuition and following your instincts kind of energy from it. So if this interests you, then just affirm or say yes in some way to receive this. And I think I'm going to keep it a little bit shorter. I think I'm only going to do 5 minutes today, about that. And then we'll call it done. So let's just get started right away. We're going to start by taking our 4 deep breaths to ground ourselves. We breathe in air down through our nose, out through our mouth, preferably. Okay, let's begin. Okay, everyone. That is the end of the Reiki session. Please just slowly come back to the present moment, into your bodies. As always, just slowly open your eyes or stretch your neck, wiggle your toes, stretch your wrists, and drink some water. So, you all have a beautiful day. As always, be gentle on yourselves. If you need a nap today, take a nap. If you need some self-care, just make sure you remember to treat yourself to some of that. Okay, catch you all around.